Center exists, it lives for evenings like this, and we work to strengthen democracy by promoting active citizenship. This is reflected in our programming, our events like this, and our educational opportunities. My friend Lukatsos always seems to create magic, and he has a knack of connecting important dots that signal meaningful relationships. Tonight is one of those nights, from Lafcadio Hearn to the Tokei Maru.
So I'm glad really to have us all here today, because we're all basically a family, and it's always good to be with your family. So let me talk a little bit about Lafcadio Hearn for those who may not know him that well. I could speak about Lafcadio Hearn for hours, by the way, but I'm not going to do it today. So let me just briefly discuss Lafcadio. Lafcadio Hearn, later Koizumi Yakomo, was born in 1850 in Lafcadio, Greece, and is best known for his writings about Japan, which have had a long-lasting impact on Western perceptions of the country. Hearn's life journey is marked by a constant search for identity and belonging, moving across various cultures and nations. Hearn died in September 26, 1904, 120 years ago today, but his legacy endures through his literary contributions. His work remains a vital source for understanding the intersection of cultures and the Western fascination with Japan. Hearn's sensitivity to cultural differences, combined with his fascination for the mystical and the otherworldly, has cemented his place as a crucial figure in cross-cultural literature, whose influence can be felt not only in Japan, but also in Western literary circles.
So Ilya called me in New York, and he was like, would you be interested in doing a body of work that reflects Lafcadio Hearn? And he started telling me about his life, Lafcadio's life. And it really moved me, because to me, he's a modern Odysseus in many ways. And in many ways, I resonated with that. And then he started reading to me passages of his books that really moved me again deeply, because there were parallels in his writings and the way I paint. From the top, it's ethereal beauty, firefly, flowers of flame. And I start with the singular of a firefly that we center our reality around. And then go into the haikus. And this one dates in the 1650s, something like that. So I'll let you use your imagination, and you could possibly figure out what is what. Bright moon, no flowers, no grass, just a field of fireflies. The next one. Fireflies beyond the darkness, a longing window. Fireflies are flying, I, too, light a single lantern. Firefly hunting, watching the sea as night goes on. Fireflies flying aimlessly through the darkness. Firefly nights, forgive me, firefly lights, the invisible riverside's dark water.
The Smyrna catastrophe and the Hellenic catastrophe Smyrnis, or the burning of Smyrna, refers to the deliberate fire set 4 days after Ottoman forces entered and captured the port city of cosmopolitan Smyrna in Asia Minor, and which completely destroyed the Hellenic and Armenian quarters in the last phase of what has been referred to as the 30-year genocide from 1894 to 1924. The genocide over 50 years led to the murder of millions of innocents, including as many as 1.5 million Armenians, 1.2 million Hellenes, and 750,000 Assyrians. The fire, which started in September 13 and extinguished September 22nd in 1922, where Turkish troops, per witnesses, systematically cordoned off the quay, containing Hellenes and Armenians within their fire zone quarters and preventing them from fleeing. The estimated Hellenic and Armenian deaths resulted from the fire, which ranged up to 100,000 people, and approximately up to 400,000 Hellenic and Armenian refugees who happened to be in the city from other parts of Asia Minor as they were trying to escape the Ottoman troops and irregulars. Women were raped, and tens of thousands of Hellenic and Armenian men were subsequently deported into the interior of Anatolia, where many died in harsh and brutal conditions. During this horrific scene and circumstances, while other ships from various nations were in the harbor, they would not, in most cases, accept refugees, except those who were from their particular nations. And as we remember, Dalaras, where it says, "Ke fili tus chtipagane." These were the people who were trying to go into the ships to escape the burning city, and ifili, so-called quote fili, were actually hitting them, so they can basically fall back into the water, with many people dying actually there. So during this particular situation, the Japanese merchant ship, the Tokei Maru, whose courageous captain and crew, seeing what was taking place, made amazing, extraordinary efforts to save hundreds, even thousands, from the trips that they took.
We have evidence from Colonel Kladianos, Spiridon Kladianos, who was in the Greek army, that Tokei Maru saved more than 4,000 people in over 4 journeys from Smyrna to Thessaloniki, Mytilene, Volos, and Piraeus. About 90% of the people rescued landed here in the port of Piraeus. I heard the story in 2015 during a scheduled meeting with the then Japanese ambassador in Greece. We were trying to acquire TV content for municipal television in Thessaloniki, so we contacted the embassy, and I heard there the story. It was the time that I told my wife that this was an exceptional story. I never heard about this great captain and this legend, so I started digging, and she told me, well, if you like it, you can start drawing. It will take some time, but we'll see what happens. And she had the patience, because it took me 2.5 years to animate a documentary, a 20-minute documentary about Tokei Maru.
I will present you my orchestral composition, Smyrna's Lament, that I composed in 2009, representing Greece at the 5th World Accordion Festival in Finland, dedicated to the memory of those who were lost.
With the representative of the Japanese people here in Hellas, in Greece, in the Hellenic Republic, with the East Mediterranean Business Culture Alliance Humanitarian Award. And we want to give it to the ambassador, the Japanese ambassador here. Thank you, Ambassador, for being with us.
So thank you very much for inviting me and my wife this evening. As Japanese ambassador, I'm so honored and humbled to receive the award for humanitarian behavior taken by the crew and the captain of Tokei Maru 100 years ago. There is a long-standing friendship between Japan and Greece, and since I assumed my post as ambassador, I have been always overwhelmed by the gesture of goodwill and friendship shown to myself by Greek people.